Hi Africa Queen family, hi Africa 55, how are you doing? I hope you're well, I hope everything is going well for you guys. Naona vile kuna baridi hapa. Are you guys aware that our president actually went to South Korea? Our president told Kenyans in South Korea.
My focus is that we have 400 of you, 300 plus or minus in Korea. I am looking forward that the next time I come to Korea, we will have 10,000 Kenyans working here. I know many of you may be planning on how to come home. I am planning on how many more Kenyans can be coming to Korea. So we'll have to meet somewhere in the middle. And I think it's good for you to come home, but for holiday. And then you can come back and continue doing the good you're doing. Speaking good English, creative, innovative, hardworking, self-driven, friendly, educated. You rarely get those many qualities in one bundle of a human being, but you get them in Kenya. I am looking. Today, we are receiving about $3.5 towards $4 billion every year from our diaspora. That's roughly about 400 billion Kenyan shillings. I am looking forward, God willing, in the next 5 years, to push it from $4 billion to $1 trillion. We have the best human capital, and we must use it to drive our country. Therefore, prepare yourselves. We're going to be negotiating tomorrow to see how more of our technicians, more of our engineers, more of our teachers, more of our clinical personnel can find work in the 100,000 foreigners who come and work in Korea. 10,000 Kenyans are not too many. From 100,000, 10,000 ni kidogo. Tunaweza kujikaza na hapo. So, and I will make this deliberate. The Ministry for Labor already has the script on what we need to do, not just for Korea, but for the globe in general.
Yes, guys, this is it. This is what we go through. This is what we're going through every day. Yes. And as you can see, our President Ruto has told us that we should remain in the diaspora and only come home for holiday. We should only come home for holiday, yeah? You know, he went to South Korea and he found a bunch of Kenyans over there. Like he said, there were 400 of them. But he said that you guys should not plan to come back home anytime soon. You should actually be planning to come home only for holiday, guys. Just imagine. You know, I felt like that was rather hopeless. That's giving people lack of hope. That's not giving people hope, is it? Yeah? That's not really fair. Considering how this place is. How this place is cold. Everybody's wearing, you know, cold gear. Stuff like that, you know? So, well, apparently, Kenyans are contributing $4 billion a year to the Kenyan economy. Yes, and so we're going to have to work in this place, in this cold environment. Can you see that? We're going to have to live here in this miserable place. Yes, and contribute to the economy. You see, our president, he was praising Kenyans in so many ways. Oh, Kenyans are friendly people, Kenyans are loving people, Kenyans are educated, Kenyans are innovative. So because we're educated, it means what? It means we should not stay in our country and build it. Don't you think we should stay in our country and build our country if we're educated? Yeah? So, basically what I'm saying, guys, yeah, is that we should read between the lines when you see things. Now he has launched the Hustler Fund. And if I'm panting, it's because I am so unfit, it's ridiculous. I've been at home, cooped up in blankets. So now he has launched the Hustler Fund. And this Hustler Fund is a very interesting one. Yeah, it sounds like such a great deal. Sounds fabulous, you know. Ati, you can borrow between 500 shillings and 50,000 shillings. 8% interest. Don't ask me why, because it's government. Why should they be giving loans like banks? Oh well, anyway, repayable in 14 days though. Now that's the part that's really scary. 14 days, what can you do with 14 days? 14 days. In a country, in an environment where things take 14 days to even discuss, even to think of, even to try and get your business permits and things like that. Will it really take 14 days? Yeah, so anyway, very interesting, huh? Meanwhile, enjoy the view around here, kidogo. So 14 days to pay back your loan, and then what else? And then they want your data, they want your information, of course. And then once you get that loan, you get only 95% of it. The other 5% goes into a forced saving account. You're going to be forced to save, yeah? So you're going to be forced to put away 5% of your small money that you're going to be able to qualify for. And of that 5%, guys, they now split it up. 70% of that 5% goes into what they call long-term savings. So basically, the government is going to force you to save that money with the National Social Security Fund, whether or not you're an employee of government. But they're interesting. They've been quite smart because they've said, if you start saving that money, you now become employee of government if you save into the long-term fund. So the government will give you, for every 2 shillings that you put in, the government puts in 1 shilling. But the question is, do you have a contract with the government? Where's the contract? This loan is the contract. Is that it? Are you working for the government now? Does that mean now you become a government employee? That's so weird, you know? I just don't get it. I just do not get it. Meanwhile, enjoy the place. See some birds over there. I really can see them. Every time I try to catch these birds, they fly away. So, I was actually watching the news this morning, and I saw people complaining about it. You know, these men, they only interview men, strangely. They don't rarely interview women. But anyway, it's okay. These Kenyan hustlers were saying that they applied for the loan, and they only qualified for 500 shillings. 500 shillings is approximately, can I say $20 or $30? Something like that. 30 pounds, I don't know. So little money. I said, they're saying, 500 shillings is not even enough money to put petrol that is worth anything. Yeah? So they were like, you know what? There are other competing apps online that are giving you a starting amount of 3,000 shillings, by the way, guys. And even me, I haven't even subscribed to one of them. There are several of them there. There's like Branch, there's Tala, there's several of them. They start you off with 3,000. There's even M-Pesa itself that has its own Mshwari. And usually I think their start off is something like about 2,000 bob. You know, it could be about 2,000 or maybe less. It depends on your usage. So now I was like, what kind of madness is this? The government is giving only 500 shillings. I'm not so sure what I saw, because it seems like even the president himself could not qualify for 2,000 bob. So they were asking now, if billionaires cannot qualify to get a first amount of 2,000 shillings, what about the regular person, the regular Kenyan? But it makes sense because Kenyans are very high risk. There's no business, and the government knows this, that there's no business. So why should they lend to you? You're very high risk, yeah? So why should they? So you're going to get your 500 bob. They're going to cut 5%. They're going to force you to save 70%, and 30% of the 5%. because somebody somewhere thinks that they're very smart. They know exactly how, your pension should work, that you should actually save. All of us should actually be having pensions. They believe that everybody should be paid a pension by the government. Yet we know that the government pays rubbish pensions. Rubbish. I can say rubbish pensions, really seriously, guys, because people who invested in business are doing better than people who worked in government. Majority of people who worked in the government and actually retired and got pensions had to move out of their houses and go and live in the villages because the money that they're receiving from the pensions is not matched with inflation. I have personal experience of that. People in our families who worked in government who are earning rubbish money, rubbish. I mean, if you look at the money that they're earning now, it's something like less than 20. For somebody with a PhD, they're probably getting pensions of like 20,000 from the government today. Okay, so they're earning less than a house help from the pension. So why should you save your money with the NSSF? Why? Who does it benefit? Whenever these things happen, guys, always ask yourself, who is this thing benefiting? Who? Is it benefiting the common person, or is it benefiting the politician? And we all know who it's benefiting, and it's not the common person, it's the politician. Yeah. So basically what it is that they're creating a nice nest egg. They're forcing the whole country to contribute to the NSSF, yet the whole country is not employed by government. So the government is just increasing their cushion, and they're saying that they want to build the economy. Yeah, they want to build the economy. But you should always ask yourself, yeah, pinch of salt. Take everything with a pinch of salt. Ask yourself, who is this thing benefiting? Now let me show you where I've arrived to.
The National Social Security Fund, NSSF, says it is heading to the Court of Appeal, to challenge the September 19th, 2022 ruling by the Employment and Labor Relations Court, which has declared mandatory contribution to the fund null and void. The ruling deals a blow to the fund, which is part of the anchor pillar of the Kenya Kwanza administration's plan for mobilization of savings to fund affordable housing.
Article 20 of the NSSF Act of 2013 sought to enhance members' contributions to 6% of an employee's pensionable income, matched by another 6% remitted by their employer.
It is not possible for us to continue contributing 200 shillings and pretending that we are doing anything called saving. It is not saving. It is a joke.
So, guys, this is what I'm saying. Think about it. When the Hustlers Fund was being launched yesterday, believe it or not, I did another video, and I was so excited. I was actually extremely excited, guys. I was very happy, that at last, the people who are complaining that they don't have any money, that they'll be able to get at least loans of up to 50,000. I thought, that's nice. At least, it's a loan. Because even when I started my own business, I didn't have that 50,000, really. I didn't have that extra. Nobody gave me any extra cash to start a business. So I thought that was a really brilliant idea. Until I discovered, actually, they're not even going to be able to access that 50,000 shillings. Because it's not like you're going to be able to write a proposal, try and justify why you need a certain amount of funding, yeah? So what I can say is, think about it, and think about it very seriously. Let me smile a bit. It's not good to be just miserable all the time. Lakini watu wengine wanatuchezea sana. Watu wametuzoea. Kenyans are not dumb. Wakenya ni werevu sana. You can't cheat a Kenyan. It's not that easy to cheat Kenyans, because Kenyans are very hard-working people. Just like the president said, Kenyans are smart and they're very innovative and very hard-working. So, Kenyans have had to do a lot with very little. Yeah? So, I think you guys, I've arrived where I was going. Let me come and pick up what I was speaking, and then we continue talking from here. Okay. Enjoy our IGRAD. The rest of you who want to come here and build the country, you're welcome to come abroad, eh? Karibuni. Sasa nimemaliza shopping. So guys, as I was talking to you and telling you, nimemaliza shopping, you can see. I'm carrying my shopping here. This is the suffering that you go through, because when you come to a different country and you don't have a car, you used to see me in Kenya with my car. When you go abroad, you have to start all over again. So now I have to think about buying a car. And you know, it's interesting because, so this hustler fund, so the government gives you minus 5%, and the 5% the government is going to invest on your behalf. And so 30% of that 5% you can get immediately if you want, anytime. It's short term. And 70% is going to be long term, so you get it when you're old, hoping that you're going to grow old in this day and age. And seeing how many people are losing their lives young, I wondered to myself, what happens if you lose your life young? Yeah, for how long do you have to work before you get Social Security from the government? The government doesn't give people Social Security. There are terms and conditions for you to actually earn Social Security from the government. So the question is, how come they're giving you Social Security if you take a loan? Does that mean that they expect you to live off loans for the rest of your life? So the rest of your life, you're always going to be borrowing money. Is that it? You know? Oops. My shopping is falling here. This is one of the hardest things to do, to blog and walk. Hey, it's very hard. It's when I need somebody to hold my shopping for me. So guys, yep, here I am. Yeah, don't you just love my sweater? Ooh, it's so warm. I don't even need a major jacket. It's like a sweater jacket. It's very comfortable. Okay, so here I am. Let me take that photo. That's really nice right there. I have tried. It's not going to be possible. I'll take a photo when I get new money. Okay, guys, so people are still starting to decorate their houses for Christmas already. You can see on the doors. We just came from Halloween. We're decorating for Christmas. And I'm going off topic because, guys, we can't just keep talking about the same thing all the time. It's just who I am. Get used to me. Because apart from talking about politics, I also want to show you around, just in case you happen to come. Just in case you decide you're going to leave Kenya or leave your country and come. But I discovered something else, guys, which I'm going to talk about when I go and sit down, because I tried to do a bit of comparison with other countries such as South Africa. South Africa has something called the Small Enterprise Finance Agency. You know, Africa 55 is not just a group of me alone, eh? We're a bunch of Africans from the whole of the continent, and we talk, and we share ideas. So when the governments of our countries come up with policies and new ideas and new programs, we compare, we share notes. So the notes, these are the results of the notes that were shared with me on my group, on the Africa 55 group. If you guys want to join our Africa 55 group, you're more than welcome to join. We are an informal group, and we talk. Yes, and we talk about issues that are of importance to our continent, you know. So the Small Enterprise Finance Agency, they provide loans at a rate of 1%. So and the lowest the lowest that I saw on there was £1,000. So you can get a loan of about £1,000 going up, and they actually give you an option to choose how long you want to take to repay that loan. Yeah, so you can repay the Small Enterprise Finance Agency loan for up to 24 months at 1% interest. I believe that's 1% interest per month, because when I saw the return, it was like if you repay £1,000, for example, that you take, you only repay 1,033, which is about 1%, 1.0%. Our loan is at 1.59%, and you have to repay it within 14 days, which is completely unrealistic. Completely unrealistic. In fact, that was the response from the people on the group, that how do you expect the informal sector to be able to repay loans in such a short period of time, knowing that there's so many other competing interests and our countries are not as efficient. Even the government service providers are not as efficient. Say, for example, you need to go and get a health certificate. Maybe you're starting a restaurant or something like that. Of course, you can't start a restaurant with 500 shillings. But even if, for example, you were to be able to qualify for a higher amount, preparations in themselves for your business, generally, you know, just the whole process, business operations take long in our countries. They're not that efficient. Yeah, even if we do use the internet and even if we do use mobile phone, the fact that it takes a while to get things done. So I don't know whether to laugh or cry. What do you guys think? I saw the interview with these men. There was a TV station that actually interviewed recipients of the Hustler Fund, people who went for it immediately, because you know Kenyans, they're going to go for it like immediately. And the men were like feeling completely irritated. They were so upset. They were so upset. Instead of actually feeling happy about getting the loan, they were actually visibly upset. And they said they don't even want it because it's like, what is 500 shillings? They got 500 bob after waiting for so long. I think they were anticipating at least 20,000, 10,000, get 500 shillings, which is the minimum. And they said, what is that? That's just half a kilo of meat. You need nusu kilo ya nyama. That's what they were saying. They were asked, what would you expect? They says, mimi nilikuwa nataka at least pesa nijaze, at least tanki ya gari yangu. At least niweke petrol. I was expecting a minimum of at least 3,000 shillings. So come on, guys, man. This is just crazy. We should not allow ourselves to be hoodwinked like this. This is ridiculous. Yeah? So I would say, what is the reason why? What is the reason why? I suspect two major reasons, and I'm going to say it out loud because that's what I believe is happening. The main reasons are two. The first reason, and the first and most important reason, is to buffer up the National Social Security Fund. That's why the amount is extremely low, because they are hoping to make money from people's savings for the government to build up what they say the economy. That's number one. So to beef up the National Social Security Fund, which is not healthy and which was not given a clean bill of health by the auditor in 2019. So NSSF did not get a clean bill of health from the auditors in 2019, and therefore I think it's in trouble. I don't think they have enough money for pensions. And so that's a way to get more people in Kenya to contribute to the NSSF. Whether or not they'll benefit from it, time will tell. The second and very important reason, for the Hustler Fund, its main objective is not to lift people out of poverty, really, but it is to get data. Data is one of the most lucrative things now. So it's about getting data from Kenyans. So, data can be sold. Data is out there. Currently, our data is protected with private enterprises like Safaricom's, Airtel's, but now it's going to be with the government. So now they'll have your data and they can do whatever they want with it. So basically, it's just a cheap way to get data, and it's a cheap way to get Kenyans to save into the NSSF. And it's also another way to, kind of like make Kenyans a little bit happy to receive 500 shillings. But you see, we Kenyans are smarter than that. And on that note, guys, I've reached new money, so I wish you well, and I hope everything is going to go well with you guys, and that's all I can say. Thank you so much for your time. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. So I'm just going to go back now. I'm glad I had this chat with you. I hope you enjoyed my walk, and welcome to the Diaspora, where we're going to be trying to make 1 trillion shillings for the government within the next 5 years and coming home on holidays only. All right. Bye-bye, kwaherini.
And the cabinet yesterday in a dispatch said this will end predatory lending, but you are of different view. But how a game changer will this fund be that will be launched by the president later in the day?
Thank you. I think, as the British say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We'll see what happens as they roll out this fund. But I think when you look at the objectives of this fund, the Financial Inclusion Fund, in the financial regulations which were tabled by the ministry, and how the fund is in terms of the terms and the amounts, the size of the fund and being given out and so forth, I think there is a mismatch really, because the objective set out is that it's going to help the small and medium-sized enterprises on startup, on expansion of business and so forth. But with the size of funding at 500 to 50,000 and accessing that through the digital platforms, I don't think it will really serve the purposes of the small and medium-sized enterprises. Because when you look at the definition of the SMEs in law, this fund is not going to be of any use to them really, because those are the businesses where You are looking at businesses that operate about 10 million shillings, 100 million shillings, 50 million shillings. People who need, substantial amounts of money, 500,000 shillings would make a difference to them, 1 million shillings, but not 10,000, 20,000, because when you are given this kind of money, then they will not be actually benefiting. For the micro, the mamamboga and those people who are, pushing carts and small businesses that you would call mamamboga type of business, who wants to restock her stock from the wholesale market. Those kind of businesses, yes. But then you'll just be, for those ones, then you're actually in competition with the other digital creditors that are already there. The Fuliza, for example, already they're giving close to 2 billion daily. And in fact, their limit is a bit higher, even up to 70,000. And there are no bureaucracies. You don't have to save a portion. You don't have to, we'll see how the savings and insurance and all those things will come in. But without all those things, we'll see how the rollout will be